Hello, folks, and welcome to a new We Are VR Variety Review. Look at that. Okay, today on the show, folks, we haven't seen you in a very long time. Over 2 months, folks. Sorry about that. We are now on summer vacation. We've been on summer vacation for the past month and a half. We graduated high school and now are going off to college this fall. Today on the show, we have our movie review of The Amazing Spider-Man. Okay? Henry, would you like to start off the review?
No.
As you can see, folks, he's not too enthused or excited about this. But I am. The Amazing Spider-Man, folks, I thought it was excellent. I went into this with high expectations, even though people say you shouldn't go into movies with high expectations. Just go in with moderate to low expectations so you won't be disappointed. But I went in with high expectations. I knew they were working very hard on this film from the start. Andrew Garfield, I thought when I heard of him playing Peter Parker, I thought he would be the perfect guy for the job. And I was not wrong at all. Andrew Garfield, to me, does a lot better than Tobey Maguire. He fits the role a lot better. He has a physicality, and he plays Spider-Man a lot better, I think, as well. The better things, and I did like this better than the original Spider-Man. The things that I like better in this film were the suit. I thought the suit stood out a lot more in this film. It did not look as silly or as cartoonish as the original series. They did a very good job designing the new suit. I thought it worked excellent. Also, as I said, Andrew Garfield, I liked him better than Tobey, even though I did like Tobey a lot when I saw the first Spider-Man, and he's still an excellent Peter Parker and a great Spider-Man, but I just think Andrew Garfield has him beat by a little. Not a lot, folks, but a little. Emma Stone, I liked her better than Kristen Dunst. All Kristen Dunst seemed to do in the first one to me was yell for Spider-Man's help. She was annoying as hell. They gave the female lead actual depth in this movie. They developed her character well. Also, I thought Denis Leary in this film was excellent, even though for the short time he had, I thought he did very well. Also, the script I think I like better in the new one than the old one. I thought it had a better storyline, better developed story. Also, the tone I like better in this. As I mentioned, it is not as cartoonish as the original series, but I would not expect it to be as cartoonish as the original series. After seeing films such as Iron Man and The Dark Knight, I think comic book movies from now on are going to be a bit more realistic in tone and more dark in tone. I don't think they're trying to make it as kiddish as they were back in the early 2000s. But as I said...
One.
You're just hilarious to look at, my friend. But as continuing on with
my fucking review.
Continuing on with the review, Emma Stone, Denis Leary did great, Andrew Garfield did great, and on to the villain, folks. Rhys Ifans playing the Lizard, Dr. Curt Connors. I personally like the Lizard better than the Green Goblin. Also, the Lizard, I believe, in the comics appeared first rather than the Green Goblin, so I think they did an excellent job with the CGI on the main villain. He was excellent. Also, they made the Lizard able to speak and communicate with Spider-Man, which I thought was excellent. I liked how they did not make him just a monster that was basically just a monster with no intelligence, just rampaging through the city. I liked how he still has intellect when he transformed into the Lizard. Also, the action scenes in this were very well done, extraordinary in my opinion. As I said, and also the CGI effects of Spider-Man swinging through New York was unbelievable. 1,000 times better than the first series, Sam Raimi series, but I would expect it to be since it's 5 years later. But I think they just did an incredible job with the effects on the Lizard and Spider-Man swinging and all the other stuff. I will say the ending is the best part of this film. It was made specifically for IMAX, as Mark Webb stated. The director of this film, the last 35 minutes was specifically shot for IMAX 3D, and you will not be disappointed if you see this in IMAX 3D. The ending will blow you away, folks, just like it did me. all the scene, it had some very huge action scenes, very huge, and it also used more practical stunts than the first Spider-Man, which I liked a bit more. All I really can say is go see The Amazing Spider-Man. You will not be disappointed. They set up the ending was set up good for the next sequel to come out, and I think the sequel to this will be the best Spider-Man movie of all time. I will say The Amazing Spider-Man is better than Spider-Man the first one and Spider-Man 3, and I liked it just as good as Spider-Man 2.
No.
Slightly better, folks, just because of the tone and the acting. Also, all in Flash Thompson in this new one was a character, actually, not just a stupid bully that was seen for 5 minutes and then never seen again. He was a cardboard character in the first one, but they gave him depth in this one. All the characters, as I said before, have a lot more depth, and the acting to me is a lot better, folks. Uncle Ben and Aunt May are played by Martin Sheen and Sally Fields, which I think they both do better jobs. And the first series got it wrong. They're not the grandparents, they're his aunts, so they should not be 80 fucking years old. They should be 50 years old, and that's about it. So I think they're way more accurate. Also, the web shooters in this were a plus. A lot more accurate to the comics. Gwen Stacy, played by Emma Stone, appeared before Mary Jane in the comics, so that's another plus. More original to the comics. And I think Mark Webb overall did a great job directing this, proving he can handle big blockbusters. His debut film was 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, fun.
Not really too good of a film, folks. It was actually a shit film. But this one, I think, this film will set him in a good direction. Hopefully, he directs the next one, the sequel to The Amazing Spider-Man. If not, he did a great job with this one, and I'm sure you will think he did a great job as well. Go see The Amazing Spider-Man in theaters now if you haven't already. Go see it a second time if you've seen it before, because it is just an excellent film. I would give it out of 10. A 10 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10, folks. Bring on the sequel.
Okay, I thought The Amazing Spider-Man was fucking terrible. First of all, Mark Webb, the director, I don't know who the hell thought he would be the fucking right choice. Little 500
Enough with the
days,
language, pal.
Little 500 Days of Summer, 10 million budget film, romantic comedy crap. And Sam Raimi is not even in the same fucking league as him. He got the Evil Dead trilogy. Those are classics. Darkman with Liam Neeson, all of that, all of his older stuff. So first off, I hated the director choice, and I still do. Horrible guy. And from what I've seen of him, he's just an annoying fucking bastard. I just
on with the film.
Him.
It's not about the director here.
Well, okay, and so horrible choice. And then when I heard about Andrew Garfield casting, I found out he's a British actor, thin kid. He was in The Social Network.
Are you racist against British?
Not at all. I just said he's a British kid, very thin, and he was in The Social Network and a couple other limited films that nobody has ever seen, and in this role he was just very annoying to me. Could not root for him at all. He was a prick. I hated him, and he's just so fucking annoying. Tobey Maguire to me is the best. First of all, I grew up with that series, and Tobey Maguire's just a lot more likable guy. He played it with a natural, very naturally. This felt very forced, and he just was a fucking idiot. And then Emma Stone, she's one of the most overrated actors in this day and age.
Actresses.
In this day and age, she cannot act at all, in my opinion, and in this, it was her worst role yet. She just stood there with blonde hair and just with a big bug eyes.
And this cannot be over 50.
With big bug eyes, and it was horrible. She worked at a science factory or whatever, or
science factory.
I guess she just was
Oscorp Tower.
Was an intern there, or just was a scientist or a high school student. I don't know what that was trying.
She was an intern, folks.
Very stupid, and didn't enjoy that at all. Mary Jane in the previous films was a lot better. She actually just wanted to be an actress on Broadway, and she had a regular job at the diner in the first film.
We're comparing this to the first.
Just felt like more natural life. This just felt like fabricated movie Hollywood movie life. What life you would have in a movie felt like a very.
Get on with the review.
Felt like a very just fake to me, so unrealistic the way they lived, and it was horrible. And Captain Stacy, played by
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary, oh please, you gotta get me started on this guy. This is not the guy in a Spider-Man film. He's just not the guy for a Spider-Man film. That's all I'm gonna say on that. And the Lizard was the only okay actor, and Martin Sheen was the only. Those were the only two good guys that I think gave good performances. And Sally Fields as Aunt May was horrible. She was so annoying as well. Just the lines that she said and the way she said them, it annoyed me so much.
Your opinion on the effects, sir?
Okay, so all that out of the way, and then also Reboot, which I didn't think was necessary at all, and just overall the film I think lost the charm of the three, and I will say even I enjoyed 3 a lot more, and all of them a lot more than this one, and it lost the charm. It felt like it just lost a lot of magic and a lot of passion that went into making this. It felt like just a moneymaker that was put out to start a new franchise to make billions at the box office. And it just felt like a very rushed movie. It felt like just went from scene to scene. It felt like very quick scenes, just scenes that were done just for the sake of them being done. Not really, I didn't feel like there was a lot of passion in this, and it just didn't really have the feeling of the first 3 that Sam Raimi was able to bring to them. The effects were the only really redeeming quality of Spider-Man swinging. The lizard effects were okay, just like any other CGI creature in a film, nothing too special. But the Spider-Man swinging was the only good part. Was the only good part of the movie. Without that, I would not have gone to this movie at all.
Okay, out of 10, what would you give it?
Without that, I would not have gone to this movie at all, and so The Amazing Spider-Man is, for me, the worst film of the year.
Out of 10, what would you give
it? And it's my biggest disappointment of the fucking year. Out of 10, I would probably give it, just for the Spider-Man swinging effects, probably a 4 out of 10. That's it. It's horrible.
Okay, folks.
Spider-Man 3 was even better. A lot better.
Okay, folks.
That's just my opinion.
What I also forgot to mention was the score in this. Personally, I thought it was Personally, I thought it was more heroic than Danny Elfman's. I think James Horner did an excellent job with it. I like this a lot better. And also, nostalgia is clouding his judgment, folks. He is holding on to the first Spider-Man too much. There is no way in hell the original trilogy is going to compare to this trilogy once they come out with the next 2 films.
Well, when you have a gay, British guy in the lead.
He is, to me, he sounds racist against British.
He's not gay, but I mean...
to me, nostalgia, folks, is clouding his opinion. Everything in this was better than the original Spider-Man, even though I did like the original Spider-Man. So 1 and 2, Spider-Man 3 was absolute horse shit. It was absolutely one of the worst superhero movies ever conducted.
Spider-Man 3, I enjoyed so much. It had the biggest effects out of all 3 of them.
Story was bullshit,
it was
folks.
Awesome.
The dialogue was terrible.
Great emotional scenes. They had
not at all,
Venom,
folks.
which
Not at
was
all.
the only,
It's Hollywood
which
bullshit.
was the only disappointment. But other than that, Sandman was great. Everything was great.
It was Hollywood bullshit, folks.
This one felt horrible. And once again, as I said, there was no reboot needed at all. They just,
and folks,
as I said, they just put it out to make money. That is purely
folks, this is not just a moneymaker, folks.
Yeah, it is.
Mark Webb.
And the score of the first 3, I can't even start on this. I didn't even know there was a score to this film. When I walked out of it, I felt like I said, where was the score? I had to look back online on the internet to find out the score. And let me tell you, it's not memorable at all, and it's not even close to Danny Elfman's original Spider-Man. Not even close.
Okay.
Not even as heroic, and so overall, The Amazing Spider-Man is horrible, as I knew it would be.
Can I have less than a minute?
They showed everything in the trailers, and overall it was complete garbage.
Okay.
Do not see it at all.
Go
see The Dark Knight Rises.
I watched an interview on Mark. Much better. I watched an interview with Mark Webb. He put all his effort into making this film.
No way.
I think it was very well done, and it definitely has a whole lot more heart than the first, the whole trilogy, than the whole fucking trilogy combined to the original Spider-Man. The writing is a lot better. The script is 1,000 times better. First one, you can all agree with me, folks, is a lot more cartoonish, and that's not what we want in this day and age. We want gritty superhero films, super comic book films. That's what we got. And See you next time, folks, on another
We Are VR variety reviews. Go see Dark Knight Rises.
See you, folks,
a lot better.
next time.
Dark Knight
Go
Rises.
see
Dark Knight Rises.
The Amazing
Dark Knight
Spider-Man
Rises.
in theaters now.
Dark Knight.